are you doing? Time for a monthly love and relationship reading. Stuck in the past. Let go of your ex completely so you can truly welcome new love into your life. So apparently this is an ex reading. I'm doing this in June 2026, but it applies to you whenever you see it. King of Wands, that's you. Empress. Abundant and open. So, how are you showing up as you interact with this reading? 5 of Swords. I will do whatever it takes with full force and energy. Victory will be mine, no matter the cost. 7 of Swords. You're ready to destroy your enemies. You will do whatever it takes. 4 of Cups reversed. I'm not going to accept failure, but I will accept the circumstances that you have to go to war or you have to trick people. Failure card. Oh, the Hellman family. You weren't supported. In fact, somebody was aggressive, verbally aggressive towards you. You had this goal to create a home, family, or emotional satisfaction, like happily ever after, peace, love, harmony, all the good stuff. And we have Knight of Swords, which is like verbal attacks. 7 of Cups reversed. It's clear as day. You're jealous. They're jealous. I mean, you reached a point of clarity where they were verbally attacking you, where they were very jealous and withholding of their emotions, or you used emotions as a weapon. They had the upper hand. They had a bigger support system. This could have been like contacts that were in positions of power, elders, parents. They had some sort of upper hand network that gave them the upper hand over you. You asked the questions, the wrong questions. 6 of Wands, they try to embarrass you and depersonalize all their problems onto you. It was a spiraling insignificance campaign where it was like, you don't matter. I don't need you. Ace of Pentacles, it's even down to like finances were taken, or it was like, you owe me money, or got you into some kind of debt. Okay, so that's what this person was up to. That's interesting. Stuck in the past, not because you love them, but because you want to end them. So why are you still stuck on this? Queen of Pentacles, for pragmatic, financial, or practical reasons. Because you were forthright, honest, and loyal. 10 of Swords. It was a brutal ending that had no hope of going back to. You were cut off from your financial support or financial stability. High Priestess. It's like you want to find deeper answers, more spiritual answers. You could be going to tarot readers looking for answers. I mean, you're here right now. Hopefully we'll get some answers. They just might not be the ones that you expected. 7 of Pentacles. I think you're embarrassed by what happened here. Not even necessarily by anyone around them or even mutual friends or whatever. It's more just like you don't like how you don't like you don't like losing. Yeah. It made you feel like a loser. This person had all the power and authority over you, and they definitely used it against you. And you're like eye for an eye over here. 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords. Oh my God. You don't want to do that, but here you are. 8 of Pentacles reversed. It could even like cause you a job loss. But this is also something I feel like is relatively new for you. Being displaced from power and authority and even knowledge on what was going on. Love was conditional, 6 of Cups. Yeah, but this is also new circumstances. So this is new. Which is why it's confrontational to you. It's You're not practiced in knowing how to handle these types or how to move through it gracefully, how to move forward successfully. Two of Cups, Two of Swords reversed. You made a choice to commit to this person. Ace of Pentacles, you even like financially gave to them. Three of Pentacles, they seemed like they were really good at whatever they did. You might have approached them. Queen of Wands reversed. Is that you? Queen of Swords reversed. Six of Cups reversed. Chariot reversed. Okay, we'll stop there. So there was a couple reactions that you had to them that brought out some things in you that I think is now what you're looking back on and saying that I'm not too proud I went there. One of those is intense jealousy and feelings of insecurity that were masked by um, over hyper fixation on appearances, sexuality, charisma, popularity, and then the Queen of Swords reversed, which would be intense criticism, judgment, either towards self or towards others. Six of Cups reversed, conditional love. You could only love or be happy with yourself if you were receiving attention from this person, if you were in their good graces, or else they were treating you that way. I mean, they did. But like you showed conditional love towards yourself. You're not smart enough. You're not on top of things. You don't know everything. You're not beautiful enough. You're not sexy enough. People aren't approaching you from every direction trying to bang you or get your attention because you're very charismatic. Trait reversed. You, at this point, are still attached to this because you want to prove to yourself that you do, in fact, have the wherewithal, the courage, and the power to take control of your own life, to take control of the situation, to stand up for yourself. And looking back, you're not happy with the way you treated yourself. And because of your inexperience and the fact that I just don't think you've really deeply considered what's happening here. So now's an opportunity to just be like, oh, that's what that was. Your subconscious reaction to feeling like a sense of disappointment in yourself is to say, no, I'm about to make this motherfucker pay. When in reality, there's a different approach that's needed. Yeah, it's like a refusal to accept that you did act in ways that were sort of beneath you and that's okay. Okay. So, what do you want? What did you want from this relationship? I guess we can go into that. What does Sagittarius want out of this relationship? And their subconscious. We need to approach what we don't know. Princess of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles reversed. You weren't looking to learn anything from them. You may have been looking towards them for resources. Six of Swords, they could have been a rebound for you. Like you're running from something to something. Two of Pentacles, get to a place of greater financial stability. But you also expected heartbreak before it happened with the Three of Swords. So they were just the next iteration of a bit of a pattern of you running from one trauma into the arms of another to gain a better balance of like stability and especially materially, like, okay, I need a roommate and this person we're kind of linked up. So like, let's just live together. Let's progress the relationship faster than it might have naturally gone because of financial needs and stability needs. And it's like you're kind of already expecting heartbreak before. And so that lowered your expectations as to the quality of the relationship. And also it creates boundaries between you and that person. And if you're not open, you don't see. I think before I go any further, I can see part of where this is going is because you were protecting yourself, you weren't psychically open. Okay. High Priestess. You weren't psychically open to, sorry. Excuse me. You weren't open to this person enough to see where their energy was at and that they were kind of a scumbag. And that's what you're beating yourself up over now is you're like, usually an intuitive. I have my own sources of money, Queen of Pentacles. Like, I was doing good financially. Now they've totally destroyed that, whatever. And so why did all this happen? How did I allow myself to get taken advantage of? I usually see things like this coming. The reason why is because you had your defenses up um, as a means of self-protection. And you're very anxious as well. And that makes it hard to determine what's love and what's cope. Yeah. You were afraid of you didn't want to pass up on this relationship either. You needed to see that it was a divine connection. You had expectations that it should be a divine connection. And you just accepted what was in front of you, frankly. It was, again, because you're running from another situation and looking to gain higher ground through another person. And I don't blame you for that at all, first of all. It's hard enough out there without us putting blame on ourselves. But if we do want, of course we all do, want real progress and growth in our lives, then we got to be brave enough to look at it. And I know you are. You want to prove to yourself that you're brave enough to look at it? The Hierophant. Okay? You could be a spiritual teacher. This is part of that lesson. And it's also about sitting down and going through every aspect of what happened and deeply considering how things occurred from a spiritual perspective as well, not just a material one. Page of Wands reversed. It's like the message isn't coming through for some reason because the emotions are high and discordant. You got to get a little bit more emotionally regulated, which would simply mean, yeah, Eight of Swords reversed. Lovers reversed. You're still very much emotionally dysregulated because of what you've just been through. And I think rushing towards that expectation that I need to make this right, it's like getting caught in my throat as I say it. Like, the only thing that is going to be productive in you making this right and getting to a better place in your life is by healing and going through what happened from a spiritual perspective as methodically as you can. And you're doing that right now and watching this video. So you're good. What did they want out of you in the relationship from a subconscious point of view? Their subconscious. This dropped out, so they didn't even realize, but they have this thing of investing in someone or, spending some time with them and then wanting more. So their grass is greener on the other side mentality. Four of Wands, 10 of Wands. They do want to reach higher levels of accomplishment and share burdens, share responsibilities, share goals with people. World reversed. I mean, they didn't complete that with you, yes. King of Swords. It's a highly intelligent person, and that's what they're looking for as well. Tower reverse, they're still caught up in the repeated pattern of doing something that's from their past. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, they were also looking for some financial stability and just something practical and reliable, pragmatic. Eight of Wands reversed. They're non-communicative, though, about what all this is. Like, this whole thing of what they really want, it seems like genuinely pretty wholesome. They don't communicate that with the people that they get involved with, though. Why is that? Why don't they communicate what they really want to people that they get involved with? Sagittarius, this person that they... King of Pentacles. They like to hold on to their resources and protect them. They only give them to those they deem worthy. Devil. They have an attachment issue to what? Eight of Pentacles. Work, repeated patterns, doing things all on their own. Empress, they're also closed off and resistant to being open to anyone else. They also are highly controlling. Six of Pentacles. At the end of the day, they did hope that you were also the one. And that's probably how this turnaround to them devaluing you, depersonalizing you was such a shock to the system for you, where they cut you off, cut you out, and started talking a bunch of shit. That probably shocked you because everything else was showing that y'all had similar values and goals. So going off script, ultimately. Why was this a fundamental mismatch for Sagittarius? For them in their best interest? How did this go awry? Nine of Pentacles. It was that source of stability. They were looking for you to stay the same when you're dynamic. You're a dynamic person. You show up in many different ways depending on the energy of the environment. That doesn't mean you don't have a North Star. That doesn't mean you can't be rational. You're rational here. What else, though? Anything else? I mean, ultimately, probably not. Ace of Cups, they just weren't that into you. Because they're closed off from their emotions, they walk away from a lot of things that are actually very good for them because they're deeply fearful and they worry about stupid things that don't matter. And part of their healing cycle is to find new love again as well. So that's like that constant process of feeding into someone for a little while. We saw with the Seven of Pentacles, and then looking for the grass is greener on the other side. They don't know how to get past that first big valley in long-term relationships where you have the peaks and the valleys. They don't know how to get past that first big issue. They just discard it and say, oh, this person wasn't right for me. And they're not introspective enough to figure it out either, sadly. Okay. Yeah, because it's all the emotional conversation that happens that's of a negative quality when you reach that first valley, when you have your first big disagreement, your first argument with someone, and it's like, oh, this is what it's like to not get along with this person. What do we do from here? Do you still see the heart of someone and love them no matter what and trust that you can work through it? Or do you discard it right away and start devaluing this person so that it heals your heart and protects your heart? Because that's what they've been up to. But anyway. So, how are your fears influencing getting involved with this person? Or I don't even want to say that. How are your fears influencing what you're trying to do here with the Five of Swords, Seven of Swords? What fears do you have that are creating an embarrassment, period? I'm telling you, it just feels very embarrassing that you were hoodwinked and bamboozled by this person, but anybody would be. Anybody would be, because they just constantly move on to the next person. It's just, as I said, they don't know how to get past the first big argument. They can never get to this higher reach. They cannot reach this higher point of accomplishment with the Four of Wands. If they got married, it was meaningless. If they moved in with a person, it ended quickly. If they, or they were just roommates or something, true love, connection, relationship, accomplishment is beyond their reach as long as they continue to operate in this pattern of behavior. And so obviously that's a them problem. So then we want to look at, if this is all a them problem, how do you regain your sense of pride and self-worth and feel that you fully take accountability and control back over your life? Oh, shit. These are really hard to shuffle, but I feel compelled to do it anyway. It's hard to do it doesn't mean it's not worth doing. In fact, sometimes it's exactly what it is. So, what's the game plan? What needs to change? Right, as I said, the Chariot reversed. Feeling like you're out of control, feeling like you don't have the courage or the willpower to push through and make it happen. Knight of Wands reversed. You're lacking in enthusiasm and passion, the desire, the excitement. The fun is missing as well. This is a big card for you, Knight of Wands, Sagittarius card, I'd say. And the Eight of Cups, you got to clean this up because your emotional self-fulfillment and self-worth is at risk here. It's not just a dream and wish card, it is. but it's also everything that you love yourself for, everything that you're proud of, your life's journey, and how important that is to honor and respect and wear on your sleeve the good and the bad, the strong and the weak. And what do you need to have the courage to do moving forward for your own best interest in the eyes of your guides and loved ones? This is Nine of Swords reversed. We're slowly working our way out of the anxiety. By doing what? We're not allowing yourself. Okay, so this is halting the habit of continually putting your mind on them. Anytime that they come up, if you can acknowledge it, you gently stop the momentum and turn your attention to something else. Whatever you need to distract yourself by, as long as it's relatively healthy for you, you do so. So it's like, okay, this made me think of this person, this movie I'm watching. Okay, turn off the movie, watch something else. If you've been going to the same restaurant that you used to go to them, go with them all the time and it makes you think of them, but you really love the restaurant, maybe take a break from that place. But it's even more like everyday subconscious thoughts. Your mind is in a pattern of referring to them, thinking about them, whatever. When they come up, instead of the I will get my revenge, or they were such a bully, or I hate them, or they were a liar or a cheater, like focusing on any of that, we kind of saw how things happen with them. And maybe that can be healing too, because recognition of why someone did something is very healing when we feel a lot of resentment towards a person. But at the end of the day, you're never going to get all the answers. And it's none of your business because, like, they got you, they fooled you. And that was a lesson for you to both accept that you haven't seen everything under the sun, and that's okay. But also still to love yourself, even in moments where you didn't have the upper hand, where you didn't have all the facts, or you felt embarrassed and devalued as a person. You still have intrinsic value. Yeah, you can heal from it for sure. Okay. Is there anything else I want to ask? 2:22 on the clock. Let's get, actually, I need to shuffle these. Let's put Sagittarius energy into the deck and then ask for Sagittarius. Just a clarifying oracle card of advice for what they're going through right now. Lion reversed, Desert reversed. So you're looking to transform both these concepts in your life right now. Lion number 26. Hey, lion. Lacking leadership, fearing being seen, having low self-esteem and being insecure, of course, right? There is strength in your heart that is waiting to be awakened. The spirit of the lion comes to manifest the strength of your heart. It's time to recognize your power and find your place in the world. Trust in your abilities and put your talent into practice. Find what you're good at and let that shine. Find your weaknesses and accept them. Accept it. It happened. It is. We all have it. Be proud of who you are because strength is rooted in self-love and confidence. Be strong at will, but soft at heart. Remember to be kind and gentle and to measure your words. Find the balance between being direct and not being rude, as well as being assertive and not becoming overpowering. Speak your truth, but know when silence is a better answer. A strong spirit requires a lot of temperance to stay in balance. Hell yeah. Temperance, man. That's cool. I really love that message, honestly. I'm gonna take that for myself too, man. It's the thorn in the rose, the middle path, the path of temperance. And temperance is your card, if you didn't know. So yes, we're studying temperance card if you want to look up one of the tarot, what's it called? The majors. The trumps. That's what they're called. At times, remember that being strong and powerful is, at the same time, being vulnerable and humble. Vulnerable enough to know when to ask for help, and humble enough not to let power become an obsession. And ultimately, the obsession with the embarrassment of feeling like you were devalued and knocked off your horse and taken out of a position of personal power and wanting to claim that back and prove to yourself that you are a strong and mighty soul. That's what we're dealing with here, which is really special and kind of a gift because whatever this person did, I don't know, okay? And I'm not saying you deserved any of it. But what I am saying is that this can turn out to be a fantastic gift for resilience and strength within you because it puts you at the crossroads of, am I going to let anything that anyone does steal my peace or my self-worth? Or am I going to take this experience and add it to the cups of my journey where I have gained fulfillment and self-love of ever greater magnitude? Ever greater magnitude of self-love and self-worth through painful experiences, transmuted temperance, water into wine. The desert, moment of endings, feeling confused, having a broken spirit, fearing change, feeling stagnated or blocked. The darkest hour of the night comes just before the dawn. The universe dances between beginnings and endings, creation and destruction, life and death. And even though the idea of death might sound frightening, it only means the universe is giving you the opportunity for transformation. You might feel anxious or uneasy going through this moment, but what feels like a dark night approaching is exactly what your spirit needs to close this chapter of your life. Don't abandon yourself. And see, it would be an abandonment of yourself if you were to act with vengeance in that Five of Swords, Seven of Swords way. That's not you. I don't care. It's not you. Do you have the capability of doing that to make yourself strong in the moment? Sure. Yeah, you could really put the hurt on somebody, but that is not your heart. You're showing up here as a lion. You know, the lion isn't going to this isn't Game of Thrones. The lion is compassionate and strong. You know, the lion and the lamb story. That's what's real. That's what you are. Don't diminish yourself just to gain a momentary feeling of power. There is a greater power on the horizon. Don't abandon yourself. This is the moment that you need to know you can count on you. This transition will break you, but it will be an opportunity to rebuild yourself from the ground. Even if you don't understand it at the moment, in time you'll see that you weren't falling. This is the moment you started healing. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's very powerful. This is awesome. I'm happy for you. I'm happy you found this message. Hopefully it means something to you because it's really something special. And I know it's impossible to believe right now, but in years down the road, you will look back on this person and what they did to you, and you will thank them for the lesson. Stop looking outside yourself for the answers. You know them already. Wow, that was really good. Hopefully you liked that and it was helpful to you. If you did, please like and subscribe. I also have rising sign readings available on my channel right now. And I'm going to be working on like a lot of pick-a cards and like psychological in-depth readings, pick-a cards that I'm really excited to do. So stay tuned for that. Take good care of yourself. I love you.